So today we have our TDS guests from the US of A. And why are we talking about USA is because we have our ICAN, the International Conference for Autism and Neurodevelopmental Disorders, happening in the US of A, which is going to be happening on the 17th and the 18th of April 2025 at the Omni Resort, ChampionsGate. And believe me, it's going to be an amazing experience because the theme of ICAN this time is Voices of Autism, personal journeys, professional insights. So you will hear from the individuals on the spectrum themselves. Who else can narrate their stories better than them? Next will be parents who will be sharing in their experiences, and definitely our professionals and doctors as well. What a combination is that going to be? Isn't it exciting, guys? So, I am definitely waiting for this particular event, which is the ICAN. And one more exciting thing that I would love to share with y'all, Dr. Temple Grandin, who herself is on the spectrum, an author, a speaker, and an autism rights activist. We already know her. She is going to be present with us in person. Yes. And also to join us along is going to be Matt Morgan, who is a former WWE wrestler, and he is a father of a child on the spectrum. And we have Thomas Island, who is going to be our end keynote speaker. Amazingly exciting stuff coming up your way, everyone. Stay tuned for more information. And yes, don't forget to register. The registration link you will definitely find there in our description. So do not forget to register and be a part of this exciting conference. So now let's tune in back to our TDS. Navigating Autism Together, one story at a time. So welcome both of you to the Dolly Show. It's a true pleasure and an honor to have you both. So this is what makes the Dolly Show unique. We have a professional, and Gage is on the autism spectrum as well. And we have Hunter with us, who is the brother of Gage. So today the angle that we are going to discuss is about siblings and an individual on the spectrum who has now turned into a professional. And an interesting fact is that Gage is a podcaster. So might as well, you can ask me questions today, Gage. So we are so happy to have you both with us and a lot of things that we'll discuss today. So yes, once again, welcome to the Dolly Show. To start with, Gage, I would love to pop in a question for you, which is, please explain us your journey. So when were you diagnosed? We very well know that it was pretty early that you were diagnosed. So please explain us your journey.
Well, it started pretty early. I was diagnosed at 5. I didn't speak until I was 5, so that kind of gave an indication of my autism. And it's a bit of a long journey that I had. Now, I didn't really know I had autism until I was in middle school. So it was a very confusing time. There was a lot of struggles that kind of came with that. And I was in a special needs class, so I kind of experienced that, going on job sites, like cleaning trash for Walmart and cleaning up in hallways, like dusting the lockers and cleaning up cafeteria tables. And obviously that indicated some bullying as well because other classmates were seeing that. And it was very confusing. And at that time I felt very angry. I'm like, why am I subjected to this? And then that kind of later on it led to a little depression in high school. And that kind of came up to where I just didn't know what to do. I was kind of lost. And Hunter actually took me in my senior year of high school, became my caretaker. And it was a very difficult process because, having my older brother kind of being like a parent, it was a very difficult process to kind of get used to. But my brother pushed me really hard. He was like, I'm gonna help you study, and he was a really good guy for me in that time, and brand new school, and that actually helped me get the honor roll.
Wow, that's pretty interesting to know. And yes, it's been a roller coaster, but you have come out a winner. So here we are with you today. So fantastic to know about this. Very interestingly, we have Hunter here, who is Gage's brother, and we would love to know your journey. You have lots to talk about. So please, we would love to know what have you been doing, and yeah.
So my journey's been it's been an interesting one. Just came up wanting to be in law enforcement. So I wanted to be as a child. I was going through this garage. Going through my old stuff back at home over the summer in Pennsylvania, found this book when I was 10. I was writing in like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I wrote FBI agent, this and that. So that led me to joining the Air Force to become a law enforcement officer. And I'm glad I did, because I got to see that, the idea and the vision was to serve people. One thing I wrote as a child too is I wanted to help the good and the bad people, because I had people in my family I loved that I saw the greatness in them and I saw their struggles as well. And through many people's eyes, they could be a bad person if they just saw those struggles. So I always wanted to serve people. I learned through the Air Force that the capacity at which law enforcement serves is not aligned with how I want to serve people. So I got medically retired from the Air Force in 2019, and from there it was kind of a self-discovery time period. It was very difficult, and I found my way into now coaching and doing energetic healing. Now Gage came, you came with me to New Jersey in 2018, I believe, and I just got stationed in New Jersey from Incirlik, Turkey. Came home and was visiting, and I just saw Gage in a condition that that I wasn't going to tolerate. He needed attention that he wasn't getting, that my mother couldn't provide at that time. So he came to New Jersey, and we did a lot of work together. And he put in a lot of work. I wasn't easy, especially at that time. I had a lot going on, especially with my mental health. And he just put in the work. He went from being at a school that had a program that I'm sure is still going today, but should be unlawful, having kids, showing them their standard in life is to clean up trash. And then he goes to New Jersey, and he's in a program where he's in regular classes, and he gets honor roll, so, and yes, it was a teamwork. It wasn't just me. He could have just refused to step up, but he was in an environment that was supportive,
Wow. I was expecting it the other way around. It is so interesting to know that Gage is, sort of helped you out.
Yes.
And in your career.
Definitely.
Fabulous, Gage. Commendable. I would also love to know, Gage, so is it like initially when your brother got to know, so how was his reaction, or how did it go about? When your brother got to know you are diagnosed on the spectrum, so how was it?
When I found this out? At that age and stage, he was like 5, I was 10. So maybe a little bit younger. And our childhood had it was very, our parents did wonderful considering how their parents brought them up, but it was a very loud environment, and it was, there's a lot going on. So coming up, it was for me. I was very much into. I was doing what I could to get through the days, and I didn't have as much time for us to work through. But he was growing up though. I mean, he was just a wild child. I mean, he'd be 5, 6 years old. He'd be out across the street in the woods with a dog. He was escaping. He said, "Get me out of here." So we had an interesting upbringing. He spent a lot of time. And our parents, how they didn't know how to. There's no education for parents bringing up and raising children with autism, so they kind of left him to his devices. So he spent a lot of the gaming system became kind of your parent in a lot of ways, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, did you take any therapies or how was it like?
I didn't get to too many therapies. I did have, like, in my 7th grade year, I went to like speech class for a couple of months, and in my sophomore year, this is when I was kind of going through a depression stage, and I did talk to a counselor, and I went to like 1 or 2 of them. They didn't really help me too much because I was really trying to kind of figure out what was going inside, like, and trying to figure this out because it was a very confusing time, and in that time frame, I was really just trying to get through, and I was focusing kind of on the wrong things and mostly out of anger, and I just kind of kept it inside. I didn't really talk about it, or I didn't ask for help because at that point I said my cantations in my mind unconsciously. I called myself dumb and stupid. So at that point, I didn't ask for help because I felt like a burden.
So then how did you cope with all of that? How did you get out of it?
It wasn't really. It got worse until it just came to a boiling point, and I was just like, I kind of locked myself up in my room and just like I was just playing my video games all day and just not getting out and just kind of isolating myself. It wasn't until my brother came and really kind of get me out of that environment, and then then he helped me start working out, and even later on, I started meditating, which was. I wish I would have done that years ago, which helped a lot with my depression, and I got more awareness.
Wow, that's nice. So you both have complemented each other in your lives, which is so amazing. That's what I love. So just a few days back, we had what do you call a brother who had come in. So we were a professional who had come in. So we were discussing. So should we keep an individual on the spectrum more in an environment where there are more individuals on the spectrum, or should we, expose them to more people who are neurotypical? So this is a classic example of one being a neurotypical, one being a neurodiverse. And yes, that's a beautiful combination. And both of you all have helped each other and complemented each other, which is truly commendable. So coming back to you, Gage, how did you figure out that, you can do podcast, or how did you come up with this career?
It's actually funny how it kind of started. I was in my room, staying up late, waiting for the show to come out because I was waiting for months to watch it. A show called The Witcher, and I just like, you know what? I kind of want to talk about this. I'm just going to make a video about it. And then I talked it with, I was getting ideas from everyone else. They're like, hey, maybe you want to do football. Because that's why I really had a passion for it. And then I started doing football videos. And then later on, when I moved to Florida and Tampa, that's when I really got into football. I was like, okay, I'm going to start making videos about the Buccaneers. And I spent like 2 years connecting people in that community and making over like 200 videos. And it wasn't always pretty. There's a lot of rough patches in the beginning, but over time I learned how to do it, and going on YouTube and learning how to do it on there really helped kind of fasten my development of being a podcaster.
Nice. That's great to know. So also, I would like to discuss, so you said your mother was not pretty much aware of, what autism is, and the upbringing was not as it should have been. Can we discuss more about it?
Yeah. It was, our parents had me young, and I certainly wasn't planned. Gage was planned, but there were two kids having a kid, and they, my father, I mean, the way they were brought up, they did a tremendous job, and they were vulnerable enough to share that. And as far as with us, they're kids figuring it out, trying to make sense of this world, like many of us are, trying to make their way and find what they're here for. It's like Gage and I. It's like when we've given each other, we've supported each other so much. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Period. He gave me the light and inspiration to keep myself going until I found my own way. So he gave me that blessing, and we gave our parents that same blessing. Because they weren't perfect, but they damn well, we weren't abused or anything. It wasn't like a situation like that. We weren't screamed at. We weren't smacked or anything. It was just they were, just very worried about trying to make it work themselves and trying to pay the bills. So a lot of that absence is what we speak of, and there's a lot of arguing and stuff. Our father is also one of those people that were unfortunately a victim to the opioid epidemic. He had a spinal surgery in the early 2000s. It was one of those back then, they would give you painkillers for long-term use. So just take this and the pain will go away, and with no warning label on, what happens when what you're taking, your prescription doesn't keep the pain away. And then you need more and more and more. So that turned into, 15, 20 years of just a lot of hardship in our family. So there wasn't a lot of attention or focus able to be provided for what Gage needed, So it's like every man for himself, but we're on the same ship. We all got to keep this ship going. You know what I mean? Every man for himself, but dang it, we all got to do our part.
That's very interesting. So if the parent was not available, I guess you two have helped each other. And that's a kind of a therapy in itself.
Yes.
Siblings helping each other is truly commendable. Wow, that's really nice to know. Yes, Gage, for that matter, you spread a lot of autism awareness. So please give us that information.
Autism awareness, I think it's one of the most important things, especially in the autism community. Like even, for example, the school system, there's a lot of awareness, and I thought it was the teachers because that was my simple mind as a teenager. But the teachers only have 7 hours a day to really look after like 20 kids at once. And I think it's the system, absolutely. And they could definitely, I think a lot of funding should really go to special needs, and because they need the most help, and really they need to stop working on their weaknesses and on their strengths, and I've been learning more about that. And once I started working on my strengths, that was the best thing for me. My confidence went up, and I wasn't like calling myself dumb or stupid. It's like, and I have to understand, like, it's not that I'm intelligent, but I was learning the wrong way.
Correct.
And awareness is very important because there's a lot of kids struggling, and they're like, am I just stupid? Am I dumb? I'm not really meant to be here. And I really think that's important, especially for the younger generation. And hopefully I'm hoping the school systems really start to change, and I think brainless awareness is going to help do that.
Yeah, over to you, Hunter. So I got to know that obviously initially you were not so aware about what autism is. So how did you, educate yourself to be able to help your brother?
Interestingly enough, Dolly, I would say I didn't really educate myself a ton with autism. When Gage came with me in New Jersey, I knew Albert Einstein and some other figures who obviously had autism. And I'm a firm believer that our stories dictate our life, our beliefs. So, I know that I had a human in front of me, being my brother, who had some hard beliefs there, had a hard story, and that he needed to, and especially the conditioning from school, the conditioning of these beliefs of this is your value. Get prepared for a joyful life of cleaning up trash and there's nothing wrong. There's no work that's beneath anyone, but there is no, what's one of the most beautiful things of being human, but exploration of life, of this life that we're given, and we have this gift. And so for me, it was right off the gate. It was starting to bring role models into his existence, to start changing the beliefs of this is a gift that I have. This is not a disadvantage. This is an edge that I have. This is not, something that's going to hold me back. So now let's start identifying strengths and working off that. I'm not good at 99% of things out there. There's a lot of things to be good and bad at. I want to focus on the 1% of things that just turn me on, just get me excited and pull me. And I know that's true for anyone who finds a fulfilling life, so that was it. Just to me, it was a belief system, which every human on earth, no matter what you have going on, we share that. So I just, you could say, looked into fundamental elements that make us human and diving into that. And I would say, it seemed to have made a difference. Do you feel that helped?
Definitely. And I was able to really get some good resources. I've learned more from that than I ever did in school, to be honest.
Wow. So talking about schools, so what is your viewpoint?
With schools, like I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of their strengths should be the main point, and finding the interest of that person. Because for me, it was football. I would read all the books. I remember my teacher was like, "Hey, do you want something better than football?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And that's a beautiful saying, because one thing autism has, it's laser focused.
Correct. Because if you focus on something, till the time that job is not done, you are focused and only focused on that particular thing, is what is a beautiful characteristic of individuals on the spectrum. So just off lately, we had this parent whose child is on the spectrum and has gone into IT, because that is what the child loved. And he's got a job now in an organization. Everybody's left, okay? 6 p.m. is the time when they leave from office. This boy is not ready to leave. Why? Till the time my task given to me is not done, I will not leave. So imagine the kind of focus that they have. If you get to know what the ability is, y'all can work wonders. So in fact, y'all are inspiration to us, how we should stay focused, how we should understand for me, I think, be it neurotypical or neurodiverse, I think the pathway that y'all take is inspiring for us. Moreover, us inspiring y'all. Moreover, we accommodating y'all in our world, so-called our world. I think we should adjust to yours, because yours is much better. Y'all are clean, y'all are focused, y'all are good at heart. These are the qualities, these are all the human qualities that nowadays the so-called humans are missing. So I think we should adapt from y'all and get back to the basics that y'all focus on. So y'all are an inspiration for us, believe me. Because I have been talking to a lot of individuals on the spectrum. I've been talking to a lot of parents, a lot of professionals, is why I'm talking like this with experience. So y'all are a true inspiration for us.
I really appreciate that. And I've since really, again, the autism community, I've met so many incredible people. They inspire me. They're like, "Yeah, you're inspiration." I'm like, "No, you are, like what you're doing." It's truly incredible, and more I get to connect more of my communities, more amazed I am. I have a friend that's autistic, and she's like, "I do this on the side." I'm like, "That could literally be an art museum selling for like 10,000. Like, it's crazy." And it's really incredible, and like I just imagine like if school system really just like focus on like their interests and really double down on that, like they would grow in a tremendous way. Like what?
So true. Also, Gage, I would like to know about your friends. So, how has it been? I totally understand you two are sharing a beautiful bond, which is very inspiring because we got to know if parents have not been able to step in, if your sibling steps in, that as well works wonders. So beautiful that I have got to know the two of you and your journey. So I want to know, how has your friendship, that kind of relationship been?
It's had its struggles, but as we growing, we've communicated kind of how we feel, and our bond as far as friendship has grown in a tremendous way. It's taken both of us kind of step back and kind of get out of that sibling role and to really understand what the other person needs. And to realize, like, it's not the same when we were kids. We're grown adults now, and it takes a little bit of learning, and not listening. Now, really listening to that person, and to realize that we both have our different goals, our different paths, and it's been a working in progress. But I feel really good about it, and I just for me, I can be a little difficult, but when I step back and really like process it and really listen to what he needs, I'm like, and that's been a big part of that.
Super. I might just ask you this question again. I'm really interested to know. So when was that age that you really realized that, yes, my brother has some diagnosis? And what was your reaction to that?
I would say the age, nothing comes to mind as far as the age. It's one of those things where you grow up and I just know Gage, you know what I mean? Like, I just know, like, there's this, we grew up together, and I never really thought much about any diagnoses or anything. I just know that this is my brother. I love him, and I know him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yes, and there was no
realization.
No, there was no moment.
Such thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What exactly?
No, it was just.
There's no such moment.
No, it's just we grew up, and you just hear certain things, and I just know this is my brother.
Yeah. He's my brother. That's okay.
Yeah. There's I didn't see. I mean, I have a hard time with people seeing differences or the suit. I look at people and I don't know. I just see an experience that one's having, and we're all having unique experiences with life. And I just know that just because we're brothers, that doesn't mean that I felt obligated for the relationship we have. Like you said, you pointed out, one thing that comes with autism, I feel, is just this gift of innocence, this gift of there's no I want something out of you, that you have so much in this world. As soon as you're interacting with someone and you feel and there's some type of wanting there, it puts up a filter with the interaction that just isn't, and it's like a filter on your phone. And Gage has that. He's inspired and taught me and coached me as much as I ever have with him, and our bond goes far beyond the label of brother or caretaker or father figure or whatever the hell, Love this guy.
So your relationship is far beyond the diagnosis, beyond the tags. It's so pure.
Yes.
I can feel that. I can see that in your eyes.
Don't think we don't have our arguments. I mean, I'm just strangling each other. Oh boy, yeah.
That's difficult. Yeah, we both can be a little hard.
Yes, we see each other's every day. Every type of face that we can have, we've seen it all, but it doesn't change. At the end of the day, even in the hardest moments, he's seen me on my knees, and I've seen him on his knees, and here we are standing strong.
So, Gage, have you ever had a meltdown, and how was your reaction to that?
A meltdown a couple of times. Especially, I haven't had them in a long time, but early on, it was usually like something that I was like super invested in, and if it didn't go my way, I just kind of lost control of my anger, and I just it was a little difficult, and just took someone to kind of grab me, like, Gage, calm down, it's okay, this is okay, and so I had those moments, even at a young age. Even I had a meltdown in Walmart, one time, and just took until Hunter coming and be like, Gage, you can't do that. We want to make sure you're safe. And, I definitely had those moments. And meditation has been a great way of like a release, when I feel like super overwhelmed, and I can just meditate and just kind of calm myself down.
Wow.
Even in overstimulating situations, it's helped 9 times out of 10.
Super. So, have you ever felt, Hunter, that you in some situation like felt, oh my God, what am I supposed to do in this situation now? Have you ever felt that way?
Absolutely. In many situations in my life, particularly with any situations with you, it's just I find the best answer is to know that I don't have the answer here. And to take a deep breath. And for me personally, I believe in higher power, and just opening myself up for that to come through. And so that's where usually it's coming back to the breath, coming back to, because I find with the meltdown, it's an overloaded, it's like a computer that's overloaded, and it's like we gotta just try to slow everything back down. Because God knows I've had my overloaded moments. Quite a few. Just try to breathe and bring it back, and then if there's anything to learn, let's look at that afterwards. Let's review the tape, and we're in a better state. Yeah.
Got that. So, you practice this healing. So have you taught him the same?
With energetic healing specifically, or just with the energetic healing, I haven't. I think I tried showing you like some of the techniques, but I've definitely worked on him a few times, and we've had some good results.
Wow.
But mainly the healing that I would say that's been taught and shared is the breathing, the meditation. Because energy work everything's energy. Everything's energy. And we know this now with quantum physics, everything is waves. And and by breathing, meditating, I feel it helps us just be, you can be experiencing fear. You can experience anger, but you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be fearful. It's how you respond to this experience. Some cultures, they teach their kids, because I think language is important. They say, anger is upon me. Here we say, I'm angry. And now you're identifying with anger. And now you're angry versus, anger is upon me. And now there's some space. There's a subject-object relationship. Here I am, and here's anger. And now you got space. In that space, you can at least go into more of a responsive place. But if you don't take the time to meditate and to do these things, and you just wait for the trigger to happen, you're not giving yourself the best odds here. What we practice in private, we live in public. So I believe it's taking the time before the event to train yourself and prime yourself. And you just show up better to those things.
Fabulous. I need to learn some techniques from you. Okay. So Gage, if I ask you to time travel and go back to your younger self, what would be that one advice that you would love to give yourself and obviously to the audience?
My younger self, I would have to. My younger self is very hard at that. Big man, just listen to me. Don't overthink it. Just listen. Just listen, because I got something that's going to help you in the long run of things. Meditation, because a lot, especially when I was younger, I remember at family events, like the worst thing possible is getting hugs. I was like, no, please no. My parents like, hey, you gotta give everyone a hug. I'm like, no. And if I would have knew meditation back then, that would have been such an easier process. Because when I'm in overstimulated situations, or I'm just feeling severely overwhelmed, or thoughts are coming through, when I meditate, even if it's for like 5 minutes, all that goes away, and I'm just feeling a lot more calm, and peaceful, and a little bit more focused.
Fabulous, fabulous. So you have you had any sensory overload ever?
There was one time where it was even meditation couldn't really help it. That was I had a seizure a couple months ago. It was about 4 months ago. I had some alcohol that day, so that definitely didn't help. And as soon as I walked in, it was just like a severe overwhelm, because it was a lot of energies coming through, a lot of music playing, a lot of people inside. I was not expecting it. And even my friend was like, Gage, you okay? Because I look probably really pale. And I was just like overwhelmed. I was trying to breathe because I was like, okay, I got this. And then we were talking outside, and I just had a moment of like, my vision just kept getting distorted. And I was trying to breathe, calm down, and my mind just kind of shut down. It's like a switch.
So, Gage, you do talk a lot about breaking stereotypes in your, talks or conversations, and we would love to know about that. And there's another question after that we would love to know. So, yes, first and foremost, I would love to know your breaking stereotype.
Me and people in the friends of mine that are autistic, we talk about this quite a few times. Even this one person was coming up and like, oh, you don't look autistic. Especially when I mention it, I'm like, I didn't know it's supposed to be a look, you know. That's a fun one. We just laughed about it. Because I actually volunteered at this place, Hostel in the Forest in Georgia. And I met a friend that was autistic there. Me and him were just laughing about it. We were like, yeah, we do. There isn't a certain way to look.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of people that think like autism is even labeled as a disability. I think that means a lack of ability, and I think it's above ability. Like you look at Elon Musk, for example. He's the owner of X, and even enhanced his political party. Like it's incredible, you know. And he has high Asperger's, so it shows you that autism isn't a disability; it's a gift.
Perfect. Is what I said. Y'all are gifts. We just recently spoke to Dr. Temple Grandin. She said majority of the inventions would have not been possible if there was no autism. So the major inventions, be it a camera, be it computer, she is a lady who is on the spectrum herself. She's 73 years old, Dr. Temple Grandin, if you know her. So she was like, I very well know there are so many inventions that have been done by individuals on the spectrum. So if y'all were not there, we wouldn't have had this, and we would not have been sitting here doing all of this. So it's all thanks to y'all that y'all have contributed so much to the society. So we would love to thank y'all
Thank you.
for being there in the society for us. Also, I would love you to talk to our audience about what is your viewpoint. What kind of advice would you like to give people in regards to the sibling involvement, in the lives of children on the spectrum? or
I-
individuals on the spectrum?
I think it's being vulnerable with each other, really like trying to understand that person's perspective, because it can be very hard. In me and Hunter had some difficulties with that at times, but, when we communicate, this is just kind of how my perspective, and he's taken the time to learn my viewpoints, especially being autistic, how my brain works and everything like that. And I think most importantly is being vulnerable to each other and just having that communication and giving that love to each other, not trying to, give what works for us, trying to force on that other person. And I think that's very important, because a lot of us can think our way is right, but your way might not be right for that person.
Wow. And Hunter, what would be your advice? Is there siblings should take some training, or should there be some formal sort of a training, or is it the bond that works, or is it the understanding that works? What is your viewpoint on that?
It's all of the above. I mean, honestly, Nelson Mandela once said that our education system should give our children the ability to solve today's problems. And what I see in today's problems, I don't know about y'all, but I've never, in high school, they don't teach you communication. They don't teach you human communication, which I think is one of the biggest causes for conflict. It's we don't have to see eye to eye and agree with each other to maintain respect for each other. And respect to me is one of the foundational elements of love. And I would say that it would help greatly to be patient, to seek to understand first before being understood. Ask more questions. And the bond really helps as well. And not everyone, you can have moments where that bond may feel shaken or broken down, but in those moments, don't jump into the future and think this is forever, and try to keep the past in the past. Try to be here and now with the person in front of you and what's here now. And again, just have that patience. I feel like patience is not a thing that we're losing in this culture, especially with technology and us not being taught how to responsibly use these devices in our pockets, which is turned into like little, dopamine injections. It's just, I'm upset, dopamine, and that's really taking our patience away. We want to immediately feel better.
So true.
Yes.
So true.
And I feel that that's where we got to just the most simple, the most profound teachings in spirituality, you notice, are just so simple that your thinking mind almost can't handle it. It's like, there's no way I need to, it'd be just a simple story that points you to a beautiful, harmonious place within yourself. And I feel that we need to tap back into that. And it's more important now than ever as a human species to do that. So that we can see the gifts that we all can contribute here and stop comparing each other to one another, because it's time to step up as a species. It's more important now than ever. And it's like you said, the gifts that we all provide, just with autism. I believe, Tesla, I believe in Nikola Tesla, Da Vinci, so many that we don't even know of. Wow. You know what I mean? And with their education system, they have such a standard. And it's no secret how it was built. It was modeled, from my understanding, from Russia.
Correct.
They wanted to upgrade their military in a way, so they wanted to create soldiers. At this time of their schooling system, they wanted more manufacturing workers. So we have this school system that's like taking the horse and buggy to travel across the country. It's like, it just isn't very intelligent to do this anymore. It's time to update things, man. We got to update stuff because we're falling behind. It's long overdue. We need to update. We're so worried about updating our phones. We got to update our freaking selves.
Yeah, exactly.
So believe me, you've spoken my mind out. I this generation is going, new mobile phones, new technologies, but we have forgotten the basics of humanity. We have all forgotten how to, show love to another person. Everything nowadays, showing love to another person is just sending an emoji. Even if you're not, even if you're not feeling for that person, you just put an emoji, and then the phone is off, and you're back to something else. We're just, the connects and everything is just getting lost in all these technologies, is what I think. So I could so connect to what you said right now.
Yes.
Gage, one question to you would be, as you just mentioned, you were bullied in places you have worked. So what do you think should be done? Like, how do you think an organization can be sensitized, or an organization can be educated so that they are more welcoming and they're more accommodating for these children or individuals on the spectrum?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, and it's a high number, with the work environment. 80% of autistic adults are unemployed.
Correct.
And for me, I know I've went for a few jobs, and sometimes it only lasts a couple of months, because there's a lot of overload, and a lot of people are not and it kind of goes to human nature. We lost that empathetic, we're treated as like robots, we're just workers, and that's all we are. I think the jobs that I think should get more community. They're working together. That's why I loved Hostel in the Forest in Georgia. It was the first time that I really flowed well with a job, and I liked it. I was working with farm animals and all kinds of outside work, and it was amazing. And my manager, we actually were really good friends. Max, he put me to my strengths. I was nervous, I never worked at a computer or anything, or taking people's cash and like handling cash and all that kind of stuff. And Max is like, you can do this, Gage, and I'll show you how to do it, and the hands-on approach. And it really helped me get past that, I don't know what to do. And now I'm like, it's just a flow. It didn't take that long, and I think a hands-on approach would really help people that are autistic, because I think, for me at least, I learned the way is like actually doing it, and you're just kind of showing me bit by bit on how to do it.
Fantastic. I wanted to know from you, because, see, you have experienced that, so you know it best. So coming from you is very important, and that will help me as well, because I keep giving a lot of lectures to, we just recently went to Egypt, because Adidas invited us to give a lecture and sensitize their employees, because they are also experiencing a lot of individuals on the spectrum who are, now joining the organization, and they really wanted the other employees who are neurotypicals to understand the viewpoint of the individuals on the spectrum, so that they are accommodating and they can create a good environment, so that individuals on the spectrum can feel calmed and feel welcomed, and hence only then they can, get their potential out. So that point will help me a lot. That you gave, that yes, if you make us understand what we're supposed to do, and bit by bit, yes, is when we will be able to do the job well. So yes, thank you so much for that point. Excellent. So to sum it up, I would like to know one thing or one message that you would like to give our audience, and one message from you as well. So yes, you go first.
For the autism community and everyone that's in that community, I think just be easy for yourself. From experience, I was very hard on myself. Harshly, and I think you just gotta love yourself. Be easy with yourself, because this society has made it very difficult for you to thrive. And I think you just really give yourself love and really look at what you're interested in and invest in that, and trust in yourself. And And that's my message for you. You know, I'm just sending all of you love, and I'm just truly grateful to be here.
Pleasure is all ours. Yes, Hunter, then one message from you.
If I had one message to give to the autism community and all involved, it would be gratitude and knowing that life happens for you, not to you. You know, as just it can be easy to get caught up in a culture where monetarily speaking that shows your worth. But let me tell you, the universe works off of energy. And for those parents out there and caretakers especially, you are the unsung heroes that's doing something that no one gets to see, and you may not be on the stage, but what you're doing matters. And having gratitude for being in the position to have something beyond your own self to live and fight for and love is something that I think is one of the greatest gifts that one can experience as a human. Because for those who don't have that blessing to have someone to love and have someone to teach you patience and teach you just so much that can be taught by the seemingly challenging things. And what is challenging is what you were just not, is just something that's new to us and something that we may not be comfortable with. But through adversity, you build upon something that goes into eternity. And I believe that. So just gratitude, I think making gratitude your attitude is just something that can really touch yourself and those around you, and just every day wake up and be grateful that you have a heart that beats 100,000 times a day and you didn't do anything for it. And it does that you have lungs that will breathe and you don't even have to think about it. Just start with the smallest things. And I know it can be hard to sometimes be grateful depending on where you are, but if you just start with the small things and build on that, and it will be magical. I promise it will be magical how your life will change. You will notice things you never noticed before.
Wow, that was powerful. And a big applause for you as well, Hunter, that you have supported your brother in his most difficult times, and you have got him out from all of that, and both of you have complemented each other. And I am so honored today to experience this beautiful sibling relationship. I can truly see that in your eyes. So I'm truly blessed today to see this combination, and God bless you both.
Thank you so much, Dolly.
Thank you both of you for being there on the Dolly Show, and believe me, you all have given amazing insights.
Yes, we are.
And just be
grateful.
the way you all are.
Yes.
Very adorable. And it's just very overwhelming to see both of you. Really nice. Beautiful, beautiful relationship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just keep complimenting each other.
Yes.
Stay the way you are.
Grateful for you, Dolly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.